I stood in Aunt Paula's dining room doorway, holding the pumpkin pie I'd spent all morning baking. She didn't even look up. "Oh, Sophia, we didn't set a place for you. We thought you'd be busy." I scanned the table. There wasn't a single empty chair. That's when I knew. This wasn't an oversight. It was a message. "My name is Sophia Mitchell, and I'm 29 years old. Back then, I was a freelance graphic designer. The income wasn't steady, but I loved the work. I grew up in a working-class family. My dad was a mechanic. My mom a school secretary. We didn't have much, but we had each other. Then 3 years ago, my dad passed away. And everything changed. Aunt Paula, my mom's sister, suddenly became the center of every family gathering. She'd remarried some wealthy contractor, and her daughter Jenna worked in his office. They had money now. Designer bags, vacation photos in Bali, a house with marble countertops, and they never let me forget what I didn't have. "Why can't you get a real job, Sophia? When are you going to settle down? Aren't you worried about your future?" Every family dinner was the same. Jenna would talk about her salary, her trips, her life, and I'd sit there, quiet, trying not to let it sting. I wasn't flashy. I wasn't loud, but I had something they didn't see coming: grit, patience, and a plan. I didn't have their designer handbags or their Instagram-perfect vacations, but I had something they underestimated. If you've ever been pushed aside by family, subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from. Because what happened next? They never saw it coming. Let me take you back to that Thanksgiving. I'd spent the morning baking my dad's pumpkin pie recipe. It was the one thing I knew how to make perfectly. I thought maybe, just maybe, it would mean something to them. I walked into Paula's house carrying that pie like it was a peace offering. The place was packed. Extended family, Paula's new husband's relatives, even some neighbors I'd never met. Jenna was the first to see me. "Oh, you actually came." Her tone was ice. I forced a smile and headed toward the dining room. The table was set like something out of a magazine. White linens, gold-rimmed plates, fresh flowers in the center. And at every seat, a little name card in perfect calligraphy. I walked around the table slowly, searching for mine. It wasn't there. I checked again. Still nothing. My mom noticed me looking and came over, her face tight with worry. "Honey, I thought Paula was handling the seating." I didn't answer. I just walked into the kitchen where Paula stood, surrounded by Jenna and a few of her friends. "Aunt Paula," I said quietly, "I don't think you set a place for me." She glanced up, barely pausing as she arranged a platter. "Oh, sweetheart, we're just really tight on space this year. Maybe you could eat in the den, with the kids?" Jenna leaned against the counter, smirking. "Or you could take some food to go. Aren't freelancers always busy?" Her friends laughed. My mom stepped forward. "Paula, that's not—" Paula cut her off with a wave. "It's fine. She understands. Right, Sophia?" I felt heat crawl up my neck, but I stayed calm. I set the pie down on the counter without a word. Paula didn't even look at it. She just slid it to the side like it was nothing. My mom whispered, "Let's just go, honey." But I shook my head. "No, Mom, you stay. Enjoy your family." I walked out, got in my car, sat there in silence, hands gripping the steering wheel. An hour later, my phone buzzed. It was a group text. From Jenna. A photo of everyone around the table, smiling, glasses raised. The caption read, "Family is everything." I stared at that picture, counted every face. I wasn't in it. I was never meant to be. A week later, I realized something. I wasn't getting messages in the family group chat anymore. At first, I thought everyone was just quiet. But then my mom forwarded me a message about Christmas plans. "Why didn't I see this?" I asked her. She hesitated. Jenna made a new chat, honey. My stomach dropped. A new one? I think it was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. I'd been deliberately cut out. When I asked Paula about it, she played dumb. Oh, it must have been a glitch when I set it up. You know how technology is. But I knew better. 2 weeks later, I was at a cafe meeting a potential client. I'd dressed professionally, blazer, pressed shirt, laptop open on the table. This client could have been huge for me. Then I heard her voice. Look, she's playing businesswoman again. Jenna. She was standing near the counter with Paula, both of them staring at me. Paula laughed, loud enough for half the cafe to hear. Sophia, sweetie, when are you going to get a real career? You're almost 30. My client looked up, uncomfortable. I felt my face burn. Jenna walked closer, her voice dripping with fake concern. You know, my dad's company is hiring receptionists. I could put in a word for you. I kept my voice even. I'm good, thanks. She leaned in and whispered to Paula, but not quietly enough. She'll come around when the bills pile up. They left. My client gave me a sympathetic smile, but the damage was done. I wanted to disappear, but I didn't. I finished the pitch, landed the contract, and started keeping score. A month later, Paula called me. It was the first time she'd reached out since Thanksgiving. Sophia, honey, I need a little favor. I should have known. Jenna's wedding invitations. She wants something custom. Since you do design work, I thought you'd want to help. For family. What's the budget? I asked. Silence. Then, budget? Yeah, my rate is... Oh, sweetie, I thought you'd do this for free. It's for family. I closed my eyes. I can't do free work right now, Aunt Paula. I have paying clients. Her tone shifted instantly. I thought, you'd want to contribute. You didn't even help with Thanksgiving. Before I could respond, Jenna's voice came through the line. She must have been on speakerphone. Honestly, Sophia, it's the least you could do. We've supported you your whole life. Supported me? My father supported them when Paula was broke and couldn't pay rent. But I didn't say that. I just said, I can't do it for free. I'm sorry. Paula's voice turned cold. Fine. Don't be surprised when you're not included in things anymore. I almost laughed. I already wasn't included. After I hung up, I sat there staring at my phone. And then I opened my laptop, checked my bank account. There it was. A deposit that had just cleared. $15,000. From a corporate client I'd landed the month before. I'd been quietly building my business, saving, investing, planning. They had no idea who I'd become. What they didn't know was this. 6 months before that Thanksgiving, I'd partnered with an old college friend named Liam. He was launching a tech startup, a scheduling app for small businesses. He needed branding, logo design, a full visual identity. He couldn't pay my full rate up front, so I made him an offer. Give me equity instead. He thought I was crazy, but I believed in the app, and I believed in him. 3 months after launch, the app exploded. A major tech firm noticed. They made an acquisition offer. Liam called me the day the deal closed. Sophia, you're not going to believe this. My equity payout? $240,000, plus ongoing royalties. I didn't tell anyone, not even my mom. I just kept living in my same apartment, driving my same car, wearing my same clothes. I met with a financial advisor, invested most of it, kept working, kept building. And while Paula and Jenna were laughing at my little freelance gig, I was sitting on a $250,000 payout. I had no intention of letting them find out. Not yet. Not until I was ready. I kept screenshots of every cruel message. I saved every email. I documented everything. Not for revenge, for clarity. I wanted to remember how it felt to be dismissed. So when the moment came, I'd know exactly what to say. I confided in Liam a few weeks later. We were grabbing coffee after a client meeting. "They still treating you like that?" he asked. I nodded. He shook his head. "You don't owe them anything, Sophia. But if you want to show up differently next time, I've got your back." That's when he suggested it. "Let's start an agency. You and me. I'll handle the business side. You run creative. We'll call it Crescent Creative." I hesitated for maybe 2 seconds. Then I said yes. Within 3 months, we landed 2 major clients. Both were 6-figure contracts. I started dressing sharper, bought a newer car, used, but sleek and reliable. My mom noticed. "Honey, are you doing okay? Financially?" I smiled. "I'm doing great, Mom. I promise." I didn't tell her everything yet. I wasn't ready. Meanwhile, Paula and Jenna kept going. At a family birthday party I didn't attend, Jenna announced her engagement. My mom told me later that Paula made a toast. "To family who show up, and those who don't." Everyone knew who she meant. Jenna posted constantly after that. Ring photos, venue tours, dress fittings. I watched quietly, unfollowed her, but didn't block. Then one day I got an invitation in the mail. Jenna's bridal shower. It arrived 2 days before the event. An afterthought. I didn't RSVP. A few weeks later, another invitation came. This one from my mom. Thanksgiving at Paula's house. Again. I stared at it for a long time, and then I decided I'd go. But this time, I wasn't bringing pie. The week before Thanksgiving, my mom mentioned Paula had asked about me. She wanted to know if you're still doing that design thing. I smiled. "Tell her I'll explain everything when I see her." I pulled up to Paula's house the next Thanksgiving in my new car. I was alone, dressed in a tailored navy blazer, heels, and simple gold jewelry. I felt calm, poised. I carried a bottle of wine that cost more than Paula usually spent on a whole dinner. She opened the door and blinked. "Oh, Sophia. I didn't think you'd come." I smiled warmly. Wouldn't miss it. This time, there was a name card waiting for me, at the far end of the table, right next to the kitchen door. Jenna smirked as I sat down. "At least you're invited this year." I didn't take the bait. Dinner started. Small talk flowed. Paula asked about the weather, Mom's work, Jenna's wedding plans. Then she turned to me. "So, Sophia, still doing the freelance thing? Or did you finally find real work?" The table went quiet. I set down my fork, looked her right in the eye. "Actually, I started my own company," Paula chuckled. "Oh, that's nice. A little side business." "It's called Crescent Creative," I continued. "We do branding for tech and corporate clients." Jenna rolled her eyes. "Sounds cute." I pulled out my phone, opened an email, slid it across the table to Paula. "This is a contract we just signed. A year-long retainer with a Fortune 500 client." She squinted at the screen. Her face went pale. "It's worth $400,000. Silence. Complete silence. Paula stammered. "Wait, what?" I kept my voice calm. "And last year, I took equity in a startup. It got acquired. My payout was just over $240,000. Jenna's mouth fell open. I looked directly at Paula. "So when you asked if I had real work?" "Yeah, Aunt Paula, I do." Paula tried to recover. "Well, that's wonderful, sweetheart. Why didn't you tell us?" I let the question hang for a moment. Then I said it. "Because the last time I tried to share something with this family, you put me at the kids' table." Jenna snapped. "That was a space issue." I cut her off. "No, it was a respect issue, and I'm done pretending it wasn't." My mom reached over and squeezed my hand. Her eyes were bright with pride. I stood, smoothed my blazer. I came here to prove I didn't need your approval. I looked around the table. Turns out I don't even need your table. Before I walked out, I pulled something from my bag, a printed screenshot. I placed it on the table in front of Jenna. It was the group photo from last year. Her caption, "Family is everything." And me, visibly absent. Just so we're clear on what family meant to you. I walked out. No shouting, no tears, just power. I drove home with my mom beside me. Neither of us spoke for a while. Then she said it. "I'm so proud of you." I exhaled. "I'm proud of me too, Mom." Over the next few weeks, Paula tried to reach out. Awkward texts. Half apologies that didn't quite land. I think there was a misunderstanding. "We should talk soon." Jenna sent a message too. I think we got off on the wrong foot. I didn't block them, but I didn't respond either. I was too busy, running my company, mentoring young designers who reminded me of myself, building the life I actually wanted. I spent Christmas with my mom, Liam, and a few close friends. People who saw my worth all along. And I realized something. For years, I thought being excluded from their table meant I wasn't enough. But the truth is, I outgrew that table a long time ago. I stopped checking Paula's social media, stopped wondering what Jenna thought of me, stopped waiting for their approval. For once, their silence didn't hurt me. It freed me. If this story hit home, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Seriously, I read every single one. And if you've ever had to stand up to family who underestimated you, share your story below. You're not alone. This channel is for everyone who's ever been told they're not enough. Because you are. And your story matters. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.